Well, welcome, paradigm shifters. Wow, welcome to the month of May. May. Let's take a deep breath into May 2021. Oh, wow, so grateful. So very, very grateful to be alive during this time of transformation. And yep, you guys got it. This is Transformation Tuesday, and we got a lineup for you this month because we're focusing on moms, mothers, grandmothers, you name it. That energy of expansion and growth and nurturing and love. So now, what is paradigm shifters? We are, let's see, we are people globally, who are dedicated to shift and uplift. Shift and uplifters. That's what we are. Right now, as of May 4th, we are at 964 strong. And I've been challenged to come up with a celebration for our 1000th member, and I haven't figured that out yet. But any ideas are so welcome. Well, so for the very first guest speaker, I asked myself, now, who do I know globally that represents this wisdom? How do you like that, Beverly? This wisdom of grandmotherness as well as motherness, and I, of course, Beverly Brown from Canada popped in, and I just love Beverly Brown because I just love the way that you speak, for one, and you're our Canadian neighbors. So you went to the University of Western Ontario, and you live in London, Ontario. So with that, I would love to have you just turn this over and if you could just tell us and speak a little bit about maybe your experience, some strategies that you've used, and anything else. Come on in here.
Okay, I seem to have some competition outside with the leaf blower.
Oh, we can hear you just fine. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, that's great. So I will cancel that one out then. Well, let's see. We're sheltering in place here. This is about the third or fourth round that we've been doing this. So it brings unique opportunities to my situation. I live alone with my plants and they do have conversations with me periodically. And Zoom is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know what I would do without Zoom, not only to connect with all of you, but also to connect with my family and my other friends. And that's just been amazing. And with my birthday coming up, my siblings have set up a Zoom call on my birthday.
Oh,
so that's just thrilling. So I wanted to say that when Judy asked me to come on today, I found all sorts of things coming up. I was going back to great grandmothers and grandmothers and my mom, and as well as thinking about me as a mom and a grandmother. So it's definitely intergenerational and how things have changed over those years. When I think about my grandparents going through the Spanish flu at the turn of the 20th century, they were going through something like we're going through now. And so how did they cope? Well, I was too young to ask them. I didn't know. So what I can do is tell you how I'm coping. And some of you will have heard this before, but breathing is one of the big supports for what we do. With what's going on, there's a tendency to go into the parasympathetic or the sympathetic nervous system. And that's fright, flight, and fear. And that can just stop us dead in our tracks. It reduces our creativity and our mobility. It reduces our ability to think. So what we're working on with the breath work is doing the parasympathetic nervous system. We're going to engage it, and that is rest, digest, and create. So for the breathing, we breathe in through our nose, and you might just notice if you expand into your lower ribs. This is really important. Most of us just breathe from about mid-chest up, but we want to breathe right down into our lungs, right down to the bottom of our rib cage. So even put your hands there. That will help too. You'll be able to see whether you're able to do it or not. Okay, so we're breathing through our nose, right into those beautiful lungs. And then we breathe out through our mouth like we're blowing through a straw. And again. So that's about 3 times that we've done that. Just notice if there's a difference in your energy. Sometimes it takes longer when we really get wound up about something. If we stop and remember to do this, we might need to do it longer, even 10 to 15 minutes, but it will bring your being back into balance. And I have a friend who has high blood pressure. She's in her 80s, and she has learned this technique from me. And she has reported that she can reduce her blood pressure by about 20 points just with one breath, as we're doing. So in through the nose and out through the mouth like a straw. Right. Okay. So that's the breath work. One of the other things I've noticed in the last couple of days, again, we're always relearning things, is the gratitude. And what came up was gratitude for the past, not only my past, but my past with my parents and my grandparents and great-grandparents, the present, and also the future, because we have an opportunity to create our future. And when we have gratitude for what we are envisaging or dreaming of, whatever that is, if you envisage that and have gratitude into the future, it manifests. So.
So tell us a little bit more about that. I'm really curious about that, calling the gratitude in. How do you do that, or what have you done lately with that? I'm just
Lately?
Thinking, yeah, I'm just
No.
thinking like that. It's like you're in your third lockdown, and so what have you used to get a gratitude in the middle of that?
Well, I am very fortunate to be in a space where I have views on 4 sides of my place. And it's spring here in Southern Ontario in Canada. And so the buds have been popping. We've had magnolias that have come and gone. They don't last more than a week usually, which is such a shame. But the daffodils are one of the first ones that come out, and that bright yellow, and it's just, I find I just have to stop and look at them. A neighbor up the street has got miniature irises in a deep, deep purple. And I stop and I give gratitude for this neighbor for planting those. There's a drive that I take to go over to one of my girlfriends. It's along the side of a park, a great big park that goes along our river. And all the cherry blossoms are out. and some other ones I can't even identify. So when I'm coming back home, I get this vista of all these flowering trees. It's just fabulous. And then the other thing I find I'm grateful to as well is that I have an east-facing window so that I can see the moon come up.
Mm.
And so having the full moon this last week, and then of course the sunrise comes up there too. So I just find even those things, they may seem small, but they're not. It's often the little things that we forget to be grateful for, and so that's something I just love. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
love it. I love it. Well, so you have one other one, right? What else were you? I know you prepared some stuff here.
Yeah, well, yeah, I have notes all over the place here.
This is great. This is great.
Well, it's what I became aware of as I was going through my thoughts is that although our circumstances may be different anywhere in the world, our backgrounds may be different, our families were different, we went through different situations and conditions, some of which we could control, probably a lot that we couldn't. And the one thing that makes us sort of a unit, well, we're in paradigm shifters. We've chosen to be in this group. We are all connected, and we're connected by energy. So no matter what our situation, we have this connection. And we can evolve. I believe anyway, that one of the reasons I've become a paradigm shifter is because I choose to evolve to become the better part of myself. And that means dealing with the paradigms and shifting them from maybe some that aren't too acceptable to ourselves to something that is better. So, yeah. So that was that piece. And then I wanted to tell you about my opportunity. There have been many opportunities during sheltering in place. And one of them was to teach my granddaughter's brain gym. So that's brain and movement gym. And they're 15 and a half years old. And so I've taught them the breathing exercise. They know about breathing through their nose and blowing out through a straw, and they're using it, which is wonderful. So I taught them the 27 moves, and we did exercises around them and everything, and their marks are just skyrocketing. It seems like, well, I remember being 15 too. It's like your world seems to open up at that age. And these gals are just doing phenomenally well. So I'm very proud of them, and I'm so grateful to have them. And let's see, I've got one more thing. This is something that's come out of a training program I've been in and been mentored in. And it's something that we're using hopefully on a regular basis, and that's extra grace required. I find that when I'm out driving, for instance, I think people tend to be so much caught up in their fear, in their sympathetic nervous system, that they're not paying attention when they're driving. And I have had to re-engage this principle of extra grace required and do my breathing, you know. Yeah. So, and I require that extra grace as well.
Oh, I love that. Extra grace required
Yeah.
all the time. You know, I have one of those sticky notes on my computer. Extra grace required when, even like on Zoom and on all this technology stuff that we're on, and when it doesn't go right, or else I'm looking at my own face and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how did I get so old? Or where's the. And I'm like, extra grace required.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
That's
if
right.
you had to use that, you use that on your drivers? I love it.
Well, I've used it on myself because of my reaction to the drivers. And that's what I mean about the breathing as well, because I need every little thing I can get, and the gratitude fits in of, oh, good, they didn't ding the side of my car. So thank you, thank you.
I just had a thought. I bet I should get my license plate with extra grace required, because I'm one of those people that people honk at because I'm looking at everything everywhere. Yeah, extra grace required here. Senior citizen in the car, or whatever. I just love that. Extra, I wanted one more thing. I remember at the beginning when you were telling me about your experiment with those, your granddaughters and the brain gym. So, and then you kind of just skimmed over it. But that to me, we've got time here. Can you tell us like maybe one thing, like something that, like a little nugget? Can you teach us a little bit? Or am I putting you
Sure.
on the spot?
Sure. Okay. I hope everybody's got a glass of water. Okay. So water, well, we were talking about Star Wars earlier, and I think it was something. No, it wasn't Star Wars, was it? Yes, without Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the one who says ugly bags of mostly water? No, that was Star Trek. That was Star Trek. Yeah. May 4th is apparently Star Wars Day, right?
Right, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So water, we are mostly made up of water, about 70%. It depends who you talk to. And it is absolutely essential for life. Breath first, water next. Food, we can go quite some time without, but we need these two. So we did the breath work. Now we'll do some water. Cheers. Okay. So how far do you want me to go? You want me to go right into pace?
Whatever. Like we've got like 5 more minutes. Whatever you can.
Oh, okay.
5 minutes. Yeah.
Well, to get the brain turned on, and I maybe should have stood up. Maybe you can see me this way.
Yeah, we
Can
can.
you see me? Okay. So you put one hand over your navel, make a C with your other hand, with your thumb and your second finger. And you put them just below your collarbone. There's the collarbone. You just put it below the collarbone. You should feel a dip. And it's on either side of your sternum. And you just rub there. And what this is doing is basically sending a message to your brain that you're wanting to change your situation. Maybe you're moving into learning something new, for instance. And I often teach this to moms and dads because when they come home from work, they're changing their hats, right? They're taking off their work hat, they're putting on their parent hat. And this is even more crucial when you're working from home, right? Right. So then we change hands. We do it the other side. One hand over your navel, the other hand rubbing those really firmly. And this just wakes up your brain. Okay. Then the next step. Oh, those are called brain button or no. Oh, I've forgotten what they're called. They're called buttons anyway. Anyway, next thing is cross crawl. So you're putting your right hand on your left knee, and then you bring it up and take your left hand and put it on your right knee. And if I was standing up, I'd be bringing my knees up as close to my chest as possible. So you get the full body movement. So it's opposite hand to opposite knee. That's it. That's it. And to switch it up if you want to, I know we can't do it when we're sitting down like this, but you can also go to the back. If you go to the back, it's a good test to see if you can actually get the opposite hand to the opposite ankle or heel. Okay, so that's the cross crawl. Then we're going to do a hookup. And basically it's putting the backs of the hands together, one hand over the other, put your fingers together and bring your hands through. Now, if you have arthritis or something like that, you can just put right hand under your left armpit and your left hand under your right. Yeah. And then you cross your ankles. Now, what you're actually doing here is making yourself into like a double helix, like the DNA. And this shifts the energy.
Wow.
And then the last thing, you know, almost like the prayer pose, your fingertips together and your feet flat on the floor. And this connects up meridian lines or energy lines in your body. So this whole process is called PACE, and it's a way of bringing yourself back into center and getting yourself into a state to be ready to learn something new or to shift your energy field. Like I say, I love the one with the hats with the parents, you know.
That's so perfect. And so would you be willing, like, in a maybe come on another time and just give us some brain gym workouts? I know this is all about being a grandmother and stuff, but this is fascinating.
Well, why not?
Why not?
Why not? And I'll make sure that my computer's on the dining room table so I can get back far enough from the screen.
Yes, well, you're just one of the most fascinating people I know. Every time I talk to you, you open my eyes up like, oh, right, extra grace required. Oh, and, you know, we talked before about, oh, everybody knows about the breathing, but we have not talked about the breathing in a long time.
Yeah.
And
I think it just,
like, yeah, even if we know it, we need reminded, repatterning, reminded, and the water, and what a wealth of information you are. So what we would love to do now, Beverley Brown from London, Ontario, Canada, is, what would you love to have us hold for you as this beautiful shifting group? And you know, this is going out on YouTube. Many people will get the benefit of that little, you know, all of the things. What would you love to have us hold for you, Beverley Brown?
Well, seeing as my birthday is a week from Thursday,
oh,
I would most love to be able to see all my kids and my grandkids. I have 3 children. They're all with partners, and I have 6 grandchildren, one of whom is 4 months old. I haven't had a chance to hold him yet. So to be able to be on Zoom with the family would just be awesome. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to take that in and hold that energy for you.
Thank you.
Here we go. You're getting ready to, we're going to get our energy here. And we're going to shoot it all the way up to Canada and get ready to accept it, Beverley.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for being our first May speaker, and so appreciate you, and thank you for coming on as we kick off this month, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Thanks for asking me, Judy. It's really been something that has moved me forward in an area I haven't thought about for a while, so I really appreciate it.
Wow. Keep on moving.